Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, call this meeting of Comic Town Hall to order. I'm Victor Dandridge.
Ryan Seymore.
Tim Winkle.
Shelby Hunt.
I like how everybody's using their full names this week. Like this was, we're back to the fun place,
Because
right?
we're not talking about government.
We're not talking about government.
conspiracies
We're not
Or
talking about
are
government.
we?
Or
Aliens
dun dun dun.
and Independence Day
And all that. Big boom, bada boom.
Yeah.
So we are on the cusp, movie-wise, of Jurassic World coming out. Are you guys excited?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
Like
it.
kind of, sort of. I mean,
I don't have enough time to see it this weekend.
no.
No, I've got. I'm a nerd and I'm seeing 2 wrestling shows this weekend.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. I can't eke out like a little bit of like 2 hours just to.
can't.
Yeah, I understand.
I still haven't recovered from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah.
I heard that they're not referencing that, like
Good.
Lost World or Jurassic 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
heard.
See, like I liked Lost World.
I didn't mind it until it came to San Diego. Then it got a little weird, but you know, whatever. It was just me. I mean, I'm still a big fan of the dinos.
Yeah.
Wasn't the dinosaur on a boat and they couldn't stop the boat?
Yes, because it had eaten everybody.
Because
Yes.
like I
How
don't know.
genius is that?
Well, it worked for Dracula.
It did. It did.
Yeah.
Like, why not? I don't know. This is me thinking outside the box. Why not just sink the fucking boat?
Because they didn't know at the time. That's what it was. They didn't know until it got on
Until
shore.
it got on shore,
that-
that everyone
like,
was dead.
Right.
Nobody's communicating with the boat. Like, hey,
Well, that
boat.
was they were trying and no one was answering.
Like, oh, okay, but
Listen, this is
it's
pre
supposed-
9/11, man. You can't.
Yeah.
But it's
Is it? Is that actually pre 9/11?
What? Yeah.
Jurassic
Yeah.
Park 3?
97.
Was it 97?
Yep.
No,
Okay.
96. Yeah. well,
So would that work now? Look, we're bringing the government right back into it in this post 9/11
Tim's
world.
head is
Right.
Would they be able to get the dinosaur laden boat to shore if they stopped communicating?
Well, I don't know why they couldn't. They knew there was a fucking dinosaur on the boat.
Why didn't they?
Well,
There are warning signs. Like,
I mean, generally.
Also,
yeah,
also,
kinda
if
is.
everyone's dead and just the T-Rex is on this boat, how did it get to shore so perfectly?
What are
Yeah.
you? Oh, what are you saying? Like why didn't it not drift off course?
Just like-
It's got,
No,
listen,
no,
his
it's got
doggy paddle
T-Rex.
is real, sir.
Yeah.
You don't.
Big head and little arms.
That's right.
Just going
That's
on
right.
and on.
I'm gonna make it work.
Listen. A dog had to die in San Diego.
I mean, it did, and that's so sad. Right by the pool too.
Yeah.
Makes me cry. I'm very excited about this movie though. I want to see stuff get eaten up real good.
oh, it's gonna be awesome.
I don't look. All right. As much as I want to see that movie, I don't know how sold I am on Reptar or on the wolf pack that he's got going on.
Come on. The
And yes, I know I referenced Rugrats.
Yeah,
when I
you
said
did, but
Reptar.
it's all good. I was with you on that one. But no, you don't like him being the alpha raptor. You're not feeling that.
No.
No. Well, you should.
It's like, all right,
Have you seen
because I'll
his
be
abs?
honest.
Right.
Yeah.
I would follow
Yeah.
him too. He's the alpha. Look at him.
Start singing "Hooked on a Feeling."
Right. He already grabbed a dinosaur and chucked it,
All right,
didn't he?
because I think I was more freaked out by them than I was the T-Rex. in
Yes.
Jurassic Park. So it's just like,
Yeah.
you've killed what made me afraid as a child.
Well, I think that's
You know
fair,
what I
'cause-
mean? Like-
yeah. Well, I always thought like, okay, so in that one trailer where you see them like riding off together,
Yeah.
like before it was explained that he was, training them or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought it was a matter of whatever this dinosaur was so bad that they let the raptors out as a means of distraction. Like that's what I
Yeah.
thought it was gonna be, and he's like riding in it like whatever. Like
Yeah.
maybe they'll turn on me, it doesn't matter. It's much better than facing this thing head on. So yes, storytelling wise, that did kind of let me down a little bit, but.
I mean, everything else though
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it's getting good reviews.
Is it?
So,
Okay.
I saw one that gave it like an 8 out of 10.
That's not bad. I'll get with that.
Yeah.
I'll totally get with that. Speaking of other cinematic fun news, Jon Bernthal
as Punisher.
as Punisher. I can't even express how perfect that is to me. I didn't know I wanted it as bad until they said it, and I was like, yes, please, thank
Yeah.
you for all things right in this world.
If season 2 shapes up the way it potentially is with like him, possibly Jason Statham as Bullseye.
I hear that that's pulled. That's not happening. I know. I thought
Jason
that was
Statham
exciting
then
too.
done said some stuff about
Yeah.
Marvel.
Oh,
Him,
okay.
him, no likey them like that.
He's a DC guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. But no, I mean, like, I think the notion of bringing in Punisher, period, to season 2 is up in some scales, yo.
Well, I mean, especially if it's going to set up season 2, or like not season 2. I'm sorry, a show of Punisher.
Yes, that would be tremendous
Yeah.
balls.
And then they're already holding auditions for Elektra too.
Really?
I haven't heard like the actresses, but I heard it was like I read some article where like they had like either a casting call or audition.
That's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. When they announced that Rosario Dawson was gonna be in it, I had prayed for her to be Elektra.
So did I.
Something about her in that outfit would be good to me on the inside and the outside.
Yeah. Would do something. To my nethers.
It would make me feel pretty righteous.
But I've heard she's signed on to multiple shows now too.
Good, because I love her to death and pieces and Back to Life and Zombie Wife, whatever. Like I love her. I'm really excited to see where all they go. I do hope that they don't over flood though. You know, like they had a very strong sense of storytelling and didn't overdo it.
Yeah.
I don't want them to start cramming stuff in just to kind of tick it off.
Cram it in.
Yeah, that would make me sad.
Because I also heard like the same article that I read like 2 weeks ago that said they were thinking about Punisher for Netflix, and now it's kind of confirmed.
Right.
Is Ghost Rider as well.
I like Ghost Rider. I don't know how I feel about it being in this cinematic world, sans or even I don't know. Like if you don't put him into Doctor Strangeness, I don't know if there's a good bridge point for that. Maybe that's just me. Am I being a jerk? Go ahead, you can say it.
I mean, I've never been a Ghost Rider fan, so I could like. It's a character that like I'll take it or leave it. I guess. Like it's never been one that like.
I love Nick Cage, but
like when they announced like Nick Cage's Ghost Rider, I was like, all right, sure. You know,
you're nicer than me because I was like, why? What in the world? Who lost that bet? That's terrible.
It's because he threatened people.
Yeah. Well, Nick Cage. You don't talk to Nick Cage that way.
I don't know if we can release this or not, but we just got. I got a message from Jim O'Hara.
Yeah.
You know, from Mark Miller.
Yes.
Who's this Mark Miller guy?
Who's this Mark Miller guy?
Mark Miller feller.
Do you want to read that?
I totally saw this. Okay. It says, tell Ryan and Victor that 2 more series of Chrononauts are planned next year and the year after, and that the movie is coming. Yes! I saw that in the back of the book.
It's not the only thing that's coming right
now. Best believe that, ladies and gentlemen. In the back of both
breaking news.
Jupiter Circle #3 as well as Chrononauts, he does say that it is going to be a trilogy. So yeah, I was scouring. I was on such a need. Y'all don't even want to know what Ryan was doing just now.
Ryan was fed after midnight, and now he's turned into a gremlin.
It was so good. Turned into a gremlin. Don't get him wet. Too late.
I love you, Mark.
Yes. Oh my God.
Give Jim a high five for being the messenger.
Yes, thank you, Jim, so very much for that one because we definitely needed more. Yes. Have you gone through again, like totally sidebar in this, have you gone through again and actually looked at some of the extra features that are in there?
It's so beyond.
It's so good. Chrononauts wins the Eisners. I just want y'all to know that's legit. Like, make that happen.
If it doesn't at least get a nod.
Shame on you people.
Yeah, because
shame on you.
Because it is this just epic love story or poem or sonnet. It's a classic Italian sonnet, right? Sonnet for your big action movies.
Yes.
But at the same time within it tells this really redemptive story of like the important things in life.
Yes.
Family, friendship.
No. It is crushing your enemies.
And banging Betty White.
Yes, that is true. And remembering that she is not a fan of reverse cowgirl. She is not a fan. That still brings a tear to my eye. Yeah. I can't even. And apparently that wasn't even Mark's doing. That was Sean Murphy's. Yeah, so you dirty man, I love you. That was amazing. What were we talking about? It doesn't even matter now. Like that was breaking news, and it was great.
I'm sorry.
No, like I did it again.
Brilliant.
No, right? Like I'm just like, yay! So excited. Well, screw it. We don't. No, forget that. Let's talk about the movie of Chrononauts. Who would play in the movie? What do you think? Like I almost want it like as ridiculous as this might sound. I want it to be like Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise. Like I want to go that high level, just to be ridiculous.
Why not? I mean, that's what it is. I'm gonna grab a copy real quick so we can.
Yes. Come on. Who do you think? Who do you see?
Man, I don't know actually.
No.
You gotta make me think. Wahlberg probably just because he's done comedy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Wahlberg could be a good one.
I don't know who else. Chris Evans.
Oh, that would be fun.
How about?
That's a good one. I think that's a good mix.
This is gonna sound totally
okay.
weird,
Let's go for it.
Joey Lawrence with that match.
Get
Joey Lawrence with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
Whoa. That's pretty.
He is funny.
He is funny. He is funny. Oh my God, I don't even.
That could revitalize his career.
It could. Like, he would go back through time and make it so cool.
Oh, he's doing movies now.
Is he back to doing movies?
I don't know. Last I saw, he was on this like ABC Family show with Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah, he was. He was.
fun.
Are they married in
Fun.
real life? I don't know why I think that.
I don't think so.
That would be
That'd be, that'd be a weird '90s couple that
would.
I mean, stood the test of time, I guess.
Maybe.
Clarissa
Maybe.
and Blossom's brother.
That's dope. Way to pull that reference. Do you guys get that reference? I get that reference.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we were part of the Cool Kids Club still.
I will start singing Clarissa Explains It All.
Oh, heck yeah, because that was the jam. I had to go back and reread the previous issue to figure out who the body was. I got it wrong at first. Because at first I was like doing the math and I was like, wait, it's Mannix. And I'm like, no, that can't be right.
Yeah.
It's not. Which makes that even funnier. People, if you haven't read this series, slap yourself and then stop listening to this. Go to the comic shop. Come to Comic Town. Like, literally come to Comic Town and come buy it.
If you heard that, that's me slapping myself because
Yes.
I haven't read number 4 yet.
What is wrong with you, sir?
It came out today. I don't have time.
I've read it already.
I was up till 12:30 watching the Cavs game.
But not reading this comic book. There are commercial breaks, sir. You should have been reading it. I'm sorry. That's.
This book is really good.
I mean, it really is.
Oh, I know.
He's like, I know. I'm just Cavs. Did they win last night?
Yes.
I didn't watch.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't watch the game.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Was it? Was it good one?
Yeah, Dellavedova is in the hospital for severe cramping.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did he pull another shutdown on Steph Curry?
Yeah.
He's going all full on Bruce Bowen.
Oh
Just-
my.
He's shutting him down. It's
My.
beautiful.
That is incredible. Like, he was the clutch winner of all things, and no one.
20 points last night too.
Steph Curry made.
No.
Oh.
Dellavedova.
Oh, on top of shutting him down.
Yeah.
Okay, shout
made
out,
some- he
hats
made
off.
some clutch
Listen, we're
shots.
geeks, but we know how to talk sports too. Recognize, son. Yeah.
And as a Cleveland fan and an involved male, I know how to cry.
Yeah.
It is all the same.
As a Cleveland fan, I've already lost 5 years of my life.
That's fair. That's fair. That is absolutely fair. Yeah, I have not poured through Chrononauts all the way through to see all the hidden pieces. I do believe that there are many in there. And again, especially because Sean is so rife with his own ideas. It's kind of brilliant, though.
Yeah.
Is it the alternate cover like to Butch Cassidy?
Yeah.
Is that what this one is? Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And people are forgetting, and myself included, that Sean is actually one of the co-creators.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, that
continually slips my mind.
I think that, honestly, Mark does that, where it creates a vested interest in the projects. Now, okay, that's a perfect segue into something that has popped up recently. Okay, so I was just at Special Edition NYC, and there was a panel that featured some very prominent writers that have a foot both in the mainstream as well as, the creator-owned stuff, and they were talking about the prices of work, mainstream work versus indie work, things like that. And it's very interesting how this conversation of being a creative and what is owed you for the projects that you work on crops up every few months. There is no set ruling on it. Like, there's a generalized understanding of how much one should be paid for each particular job, but there's not like a set I don't even know what to call it, like consensus even on when that should apply and when it shouldn't. Now, you guys are from the retail side. Do you have any thoughts and ideas that should be expressed to creatives that would speak on such a thing? Like, obviously, me as a creator and a publisher, I have ideas about it, but how does that play out for you guys, if at all? Like, do you think that it's something that you have a say in or should say something about from the retail standpoint, or just generally men with brains? Like, what are your thoughts?
I know from the retail side that there are certain writers and certain artists that independently, just by them being attached to a title,
right,
will cause that book to sell more than it normally would.
Right.
But is the guy writing shotgun on a Jim Lee drawn book, just writing stuff to give him something to draw about? I don't know. Like, that's
kind of up there.
Yeah, I have no.
Well, like, all right, so you kind of touched on it though, because like the thing for us is, as a indie publisher, is the idea of page rates and value and worth. And so an artist will say, well, this is my page rate, but then that itself speaks to an essence of value. But can you say that your name brings this much attention to said project? You know, can you say that by paying you this much, that I will make that much back in X amount of time? Like, can you say that? And that's one of those things that I think is like seriously the crux of that conversation. But there are a lot of certain level, I won't even say like new guys, because I've seen, you know, established guys have that same flaw of understanding that you are part of a process. Not to say that you're just a cog, but you have to look at the overall efforts versus just your end of it. Like, that's not, you know, that being so focused and streamlined is kind of detrimental. But I mean, you know, to go at things like this, like what Mark does, obviously his name has epic pull. Like, you know, you almost know, like, if he does a book, it's going to have multimedia interest. And that's got to be something. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure he offers a very nice page rate. I don't know if it's a standardized piece, if he's like, hey, what is your rate? Okay, I got it *2. Or does he say like, hey, here's $10K, do this book? Either way, I'm going to say yes. But, you know.
And does the reverse happen for rock star artists?
Right.
Like,
do they go to him like, hey, can you work with me? Can we do something together? I don't know.
Or, you know, hey, I heard you have this idea.
Right.
I'd like to draw it.
I'd like to, pretty please.
DC pitches, I don't know, something to Brian Hitch.
Right.
Does Hitch have a standard rate, or does he get paid more for drawing Justice League versus drawing I don't know, I know Aquaman or something?
There's more characters. Hitch is one of those guys that the long-standing rumor in the industry was what his page rate was years ago, like in the post-Authority, maybe around Ultimates era, which is like 500 a page. Now, you're right, like that's, but it's Brian Hitch. Like, you put him on a title, it was definitely going to be
Ultimates 1 and Ultimates 2 just sold like bananas.
Exactly.
Well, and this is kind of on that line, kind of not, but like Scott Snyder came out, I think it was yesterday, with this article about how much the difference is and how much he makes on Batman, which is DC's highest selling title, or second highest
versus
selling,
Witches.
Witches.
Now, what exactly were the numbers on that? Because I haven't read that one, but I think that was part of it.
It was something that, like, he almost makes, I think, almost double on Witches than Batman.
But, and see, that's one of the things that I think where it all comes into play is when he makes that, that's not something that he makes, like, he only makes that after books are sold, right? Like, and that's the
back
key.
end, not the front end.
Right. And those are the ideas that we try as publishers, small press publishers, try to promote the most. Is if you help us, you could actually make more money on the back end than you could with an upfront, you know, piece. And you get the conversation of, you know, people like, oh, well, I don't want to get ripped off, or, you know, what if there are no profits? And it's like, well, that's the whole key. Like, if you start small on the initial investment, profits come faster and long form. Like, but that's more business than most comic creators
have to take
think
a chance on.
Right. You know, I mean, because at the very least, you always will get a portfolio piece that you say, I did this, whether it did big numbers or not. You know, you still have something you can show a new, you know, opportunity and say, hey, I completed this project. You know, unfortunately, it didn't go very far, but this is my work on it, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. It's kind of like I said, it's a thing that keeps coming back, and there becomes this air of entitlement on a multitude of levels. Like, you know, the artists are like, I deserve to get this much money because I can draw this way. It's no different, in my opinion, as publishers saying, you know, we deserve to be able to be successful making these books. You know, stores should have to carry us, you know, whatever. But it's very strange sort of commentaries. But it always pops up every few months. It's very interesting. Even I've talked about it on Unconventional. People don't like what I say about it, though. Because I'm like, shut up. You're not going to get paid yet. Don't try to. Don't live off of this. That's not the way.
Dude.
Right. I'm that guy that says you get a star for a little bit.
It's not exactly the same thing, but when I was doing some independent television show production, is instead of hiring someone full time for the graphic elements is that I just did negotiate with them to buy the rights to it and then just have that
piece of it.
Yeah, that piece. Like I've instead of bringing them in as a regular.
Right.
Here are the graphics that I want. Just get what's the price going to be?
Right.
You give me the rights to it, and then we're done.
That's a very simple piece too.
I mean,
yeah.
and it's kind of similar.
Right.
I mean, I'm not having pages produced, but I'm having
content.
Right. I'm having
content.
the graphic look
right
presented, and then but
see,
they're not part of the you know what I.
Okay,
they
so
didn't get
like
any
they didn't get a credit. Okay, see,
they don't get credit.
That's the other part.
But
because so like you said, you asked what their rate is, right? Which is very much so a work for hire agreement.
Right. It's just like
And in that regard, like this is one of the things that I think the comic industry is so unique is we have the work for hire agreement set up. However, what most artists never consider is the notion that if you get hired under some sort of work for hire agreement, they don't even have to say your name. They don't have to give you credit for it because on the legal, like jurisdictional whatevers of it, the person who paid you is listed as the author, not you. Like that's you got paid to be a hand, but not as a creator. Like that's the rules of work for hire. And the more, like I keep trying to argue, like the more and more and more that artists are so vehemently, speaking to small press guys and saying this is my page rate, the closer it's going to be where I see that small press guys will band together and say, okay, well fine, here's our quote unquote unionized, piece. It is work for hire, and they will stop putting artists' names on projects. They'll pay you your rate, and that's what you get, but your name doesn't go on it. You don't gain any more acclaim. It will be up to the writer publisher's discretion whether or not they say that you did this. And that's something that I warn could happen, but it's going to be like the only way that writers will have any sort of balance push to keep things on a level. Otherwise, people are like, no, I make $100 a page. It's like, why? How many books have you done? It's like, well, none, but I draw well. And it's like, that's not good enough. You can't do that.
I make pretty pictures.
Right. He's like, you can't do that. Like, what is that?
I mean, he can use in this instance. It was fine if he uses it as this is the work I've done. Like if he wants to show a portfolio of things that he's done. But this has also been an area that's been a contention on and off with web designers.
Okay.
I mean, it was particularly in the early days,
right?
Where, who owns the
imagery?
Right. Well, it ends up being. I mean, it's pretty much settled now, but again, it still crops up every once in a while. But particularly with smaller web developers, is that they feel like they own it. Well, you don't.
No, you don't. You
the person that hired you to build it owns it.
Right. And
that's.
Well, no,
and then they can show it as a portfolio piece, but they don't own that website.
Right.
Like Dominion showing up at some point at one of my barbecues, like, hey, it's at my house. And you're like, fuck out.
Right. But I did this. Like, no, I paid to have this done, and you did good. Now you're done.
I wouldn't even go that far.
Just go. Fingers pointing upward and outward. But that stuff is always interesting. The business of comics is such a tricky thing
because it's two artists having to merge their art forms for one product.
Right.
The right writer with the right artist, no matter what level of rock star they are, can produce greatness.
Right.
I don't know. I think it's a real big question of if one side can legitimately bring people to the table to purchase the product,
right?
And then also a level of involvement between the two. Like if it's simply, here's the script, draw it, or if it's like a Chrononauts or a Morrison Quietly thing where it's very symbiotic.
Right.
It becomes something different, and I think rates should probably go up. Brian Hitch getting paid $14,000 for an issue of Ultimates seems like a lot, but that's only 4,700 units sold at retail.
Right.
So, how much is he getting paid to write and draw Jay?
Like muy mucho. Like, but I think a part of that might be like whether or not he still commands those kinds of sales. I mean, hard to say. I know there's a point where even like myself, who is a fan of him, him doing the artwork, I'm like, maybe not.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, yeah, because America's Got Powers wasn't really
right.
a seller for us, but like Ryan's shaking and crying.
Ryan just found a toenail.
But like
magic gets real around here.
But like DC's pushing JLA hard.
Very hard. That's the crux.
Yeah.
Issue 2 has already been final order cut off.
And number one's out next week? ?
Yeah, I haven't read the invoice yet, but it's supposed to be, I believe.
It was supposed to be out last week.
Oh wow!
I think it got pushed back to next week.
See, and that's one of those things. Like I know.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, it takes so long. I do know that Alex Ross. It is said that when he does a cover, you expect to move, I think 2,000 to 5,000 more units than you would have without him. Like that's what you can count
for a regular cover.
Yeah.
So
you know, whatever his fee is, it's accounting for an upward mobility of, you know,
because anymore his regular covers are just few and far between. Like,
right.
He's stuck to variants for the past like 5-6 years for the most part. Like the last regular covers I remember him doing was Justice. That was 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, he still does them for Astro City. Does that count? No.
It does, because I forgot about Astro City.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say, like, does that count? But I mean, even then, like, him doing the cover on a variant equates to you know, equitable sales.
Yeah, because you gotta order the extra to get that, and shops will order the extra.
Exactly.
I mean,
get an Alex Ross piece.
We did.
Right.
Star Wars.
Right.
I think we did even for Leia.
It ultimately paid off for us.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one that was like, oh, even if we don't sell, I'll get it.
I mean, we did extra. I mean, we picked up extra Star Wars Invader just to get the one for 200, which was a sketch.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
And that's kind of where, you know, like I said, the business of this whole thing is one that so few people understand, where it's more about the end result than the in process work. Like, you know, you can do some pretty pages, but until it's a book, nobody's gonna know. It's gonna be worthless. So that's why I always promote the idea of, if you're an indie publisher, don't ask for page rates. Tell them what your budget is. Say, I've got this much to do this project, yes or no. You get into nitty gritty picking stuff, it's gonna be a hassle, and you're gonna be very, very discouraged.
Yeah.
And artists, I always say, you know, be open to it, but tell them, like, if their rate is not quite what you're looking for, you are the visual storyteller, so shape the story to fit what you're interested in. So if it's a matter of saying, like, well, you know, I want $50 a page, you're offering something close to 18, well, I tell you what, I'll do the book, but it'll only be in 4 panel pages. You know, that's your job. You know, tell the story, make it interesting, and it can be done, because what Eric Larson just did, some issue of Dragon where they were all 9-panel grids, but he changed the grid structures. But you know, you can do it. Like, that's your job.
It's doable.
So it's just a matter of you putting in that work, and then if it works really well, you're the champion. And I'm fairly certain that if there's an influx of cash, the person's not going to be like, well, I can only do $18 a page. Like, no, I want 50 now. And you're like, not a problem. You know, you've already proven it. You know, so that's just me. What else you guys got? You got some.
The two all different Marvel.
The images
that they put out, and what they've revealed so far is pretty interesting.
Which one is your most interesting reveal in your opinion?
The two for me are Iron Man is Tony Stark.
Right.
Which, reading that all different Avengers for Free Comic Day, I was like, there's no way this is Tony Stark. So I wonder what happens. What happens?
Because is he still, like, as we know it, he's still superior?
Yeah, as we know right now, he's still
Axis oriented.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it didn't read to me that it was Tony Stark.
Gotcha.
And then Hulk is not Bruce Banner when they come back.
Wait, what?
They've said that Hulk is not Bruce Banner when they come back from Secret Wars, and whoever it is going to surprise everyone. And I said that in air quotes.
I was gonna say, they always say that.
Yeah, I said that.
You
in air
are
quotes.
the Hulk, Ryan.
So,
dun, dun, dun.
well, the one rumor that I've heard is kind of interesting. The one rumor I heard is that it might be Ultimate Reed Richards.
the Maker, like that version of him.
I'm happy just because they're not killing Ultimate Reed Richards off, because
he's such an interesting character.
Yeah, Ultimate Reed Richards I think is just the best character in Ultimate Comics.
Better than Miles. That's racist.
And he's up there.
That's racist. No. He has been definitely a very interesting character. I don't know how I feel about him being the Hulk though.
I'm right along with you, because like I don't know how I feel about it.
Like,
I'm just more happy that they're not killing him off.
That's fair.
You know, like it's one of those things where like, all right, well, I mean, I guess I'll take it.
Right.
You know,
you got no choice.
Yeah,
they're giving it to you. What about you? Have you guys seen those images yet?
I've seen a little bit of them. I'm trying to hold out any real thoughts on it until July 1st, when the all new Marvel previews comes out.
Right.
Yeah, where they're gonna announce everything.
What exactly is coming?
And I tried to order hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of that previews.
Right.
The reason I say tried is shops will get a certain fixed amount automatically for free based on their discount tier, and then you can order in addition to that, but it like autofills telling you how many copies you're going to get. So I tried to increase that to the hundreds and hundreds. I just don't know if it's going to be intended to include that, and I think that'll give us a real snapshot, because it's looking real rebootish.
Okay,
but coming out of an event like Secret Wars,
it works.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many and not even necessarily continuity things, but Marvel has reached a point where it's incredible, but for a new reader to come in is so difficult.
It's back to its density level. Like even Ultimate Universe itself has become.
Yeah. Should I start with Volume 1? Well, which Volume 1?
Right.
It's
That's a good point. That is a good point.
And you're about to call me racist again.
Oh, dang it.
I'm not happy that Falcon's still Captain America, because I'm just not a fan of it.
I agree with that.
I never have been.
Yeah. No. That's not racist. That's pandering.
It's for me. It's just for me. The whole Falcon as Cap has just been there, done that.
Yeah.
Like you just put Steve Rogers back in the outfit like 3 years ago.
Right. So why are we back to this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand that. And my personal thoughts are, if you're gonna be Cap, be Cap. Don't be Falcon Cap. Like that seems sad to me.
There are 2 Wolverines.
There are 2.
X-23 in a yellow and blue outfit, and Old Man Logan.
All right. I thought the X-23 as Wolverine-esque girl thing was interesting. I don't know if I
mean, on that image, they're just straight up giving her an outfit.
Yeah, which I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
It allows them to have a Wolverine character in multiple titles.
True.
Yeah.
Which they do like to do.
Yeah.
It does make me wonder if, as Hugh Jackman is skirting out, this is why they're gonna girl it up, so that way they're not really promoting his version of, and therefore Fox is like, dang it.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah.
As much as they want to stick it to Fox, I'm kind of surprised that Old Man Logan's in there, because the big rumor that I keep hearing is that they're going to do Old Man Logan as Hugh Jackman's Wolverine send-off, like a version of it.
That would be cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like that would be pretty epic. Yeah. And I mean, considering that Mark is one of their advisors or whatever, that definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you got the man that's like right there whispering in your ear.
Yeah.
Better use it. But I don't know. Like maybe they're gonna do something weird with Old Man Logan.
I mean,
I'd hate if Marvel did that. Like that would make me very, very sad.
Yeah.
Right. Like what? Maybe there's not like a big merchandising plan. Like how do you merchandise that? Like you have Old Man Logan on your shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not really a thing.
It's just Wolverine with
with attitude.
Yeah, with attitude.
Get off my lawn, you muties! I don't know.
It's a Gran Torino.
That would be perfect, actually. You're still touching it. Like why? Oh God, it's a toenail. It's literally a toenail. That just scares me. I know, right? Ryan found a toenail and he's like he's mesmerized by it. Now we didn't talk about this last week like you wanted to, which was whether or not Marvel is dangerously encroaching on shooting themselves in the foot by their embargo.
Yeah, I think they are.
Like what do you think is going to be the tipping point?
I don't know. Like maybe Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
When people come in and like, oh, you know, I want some Fantastic Four, they're doing nothing with it.
They're done right now. Say what?
Yeah, like because apparently after Secret Wars, they haven't revealed what they're doing with Reed and Sue.
Right.
Thing is a Guardian of the Galaxy.
Right.
Yeah.
And Human Torch is banging Medusa in Humans.
That scares me.
It's just like, what, you know.
No, seriously, that scares me. Because didn't he hook up with her sister, with Crystal?
He's a Human Torch.
I mean, he does.
Yeah, I mean,
Human Torch. He's flaming, boy. You know, he's got to get that checked out.
He's Johnny Flippin' Storm. Yeah.
Do you think they carry numbers like that? Like, who's hooked up more? Who do you think is hooked up more? Johnny, Matt Murdock, or Tony Stark?
Stark.
I don't know, man. I think Matt. I think Matty gets it on the low. Matty gets it all on the low, man. People do that blind guy thing, and he does that thing where he just knows. And you're like, how did you? Oh my god!
I'm just more laughing at like, it burns when I pee. Is it my power?
Is it my power? Is it me?
No, it's chlamydia.
It's now the Fantastic Five.
Oh, flame on.
But I think they're hitting a point where I think they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're not going to get new readers. They're not going to get new people to their product. When
do you think that they won't get new people to their product, or they won't have new product for their new people? Like, do you think that their hope is that the new people that come will be interested in the old materials? I mean, because you figure like the movies are, if they base any of what they do off of what has already come out, that's one way for Marvel Disney to profit off of it.
Sometimes it's like it's both ways when people come in the store. It's like, all right, you know, what's going on now? You know, if and especially if it's someone who has been out of comics for like a few years, like, all right, you know, I went and saw Fantastic Four, I liked it. What are they doing now?
What's going on now?
Well, they don't have a title written. You know, it kind of turns. It's
very sour. Like,
it's just like, oh,
womp 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 womp.
The counterpoint to that though is, let's say there is a title, but the title does not match the movie. No matter how high quality the movie is, like, well, this isn't the same. It's a story about Galactus, but Galactus is a giant dude with like a giant
purple head, as opposed to a cloud of cloudiness.
So then the product, like the two media don't match.
Right.
And then people are like, well, you know, I like the movie, I'll pass on Exodus.
See, and I think that's what Grant Morrison was trying to attempt with New X-Men on his run, was to make it match more of the vibe and feel of the movie, because that was where the people were.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see.
You know, and then I think you're also on the comic end. You're coming up with stuff that just, for me, is just kind of a turnoff of the X-Men. Like the rumor of the X-Men apparently are like allergic to the Terrigen mists. So they shoot off into space and create their own planet.
Makes you wonder why they didn't do that before.
Like, it's just like, what?
Why don't y'all just leave? Like, people of Earth don't like you guys have the means, just bounce. Like, whatever.
Well,
it's a big universe out there.
You're not making any merchandise of Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Right.
Like you're hitting a point where like they released a new Secret Wars T-shirt.
Right. And took them off.
Off.
Yes. Now that's the point where I think you're getting a little too dangerous, because you're editing history to fit your current, licensing platform.
You know, and then like they had the whole gigantic Marvel banner that's new that they're like putting in their office or whatever. Not a single Fantastic Four X-Men person on it.
Right. That's bold.
It's just like
it's marketing.
I mean, it is.
Like,
it's just.
I mean, I get it, but like at the same time, it's just.
Has anyone else ever done that though? I can't think of any other.
At first, I just thought it was funny. Now I'm just.
Now you're like, what are you doing?
What are you doing, guys?
Stop that.
I bet the Cincinnati Reds don't have shit for
Pete Rose.
Pete Rose.
That's fair. I think that's fair. Like, maybe not. Like, that's the only other.
Yeah, we're just like, he doesn't like fit with what we're doing now,
so we're not gonna include it.
I mean I get it. Like, but he also just gambled.
Yeah, but at least he bet for himself as opposed to against the team and made them lose. Like, that's a dude that was confident. Like.
Yeah.
I think history will go back and be like, he's a winner. No, he was really, really for his team right there.
It's just, I don't know. It's like, are you really doing this just because, Fox's CEO's dick is bigger than yours?
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing is like, is it really bigger or is he just not, he won't show? Like, that's the problem. Like, Marvel's is definitely like raging right now. And he's like, no, I'm not going to show it. But trust me, it's big. And he's like, well, let's see it. He's like, well, no. Like, It's swollen though. Like, trust me when I tell you. Like, ladies limp, and they're like, well, show us. Like, point a girl, and he's like, I don't tell.
Follow me on Snapchat.
Right, like I'll show you stuff. I'll show you stuff.
Snapchat.
But I mean, like, do you think like there is a breaking point for Fox, where, like, as this plan is that they'll have to come up with so much money to produce and promote the movies that'll be too much for them?
I think I think their breaking point is if the movies aren't successful. Like, I think if Fantastic Four isn't successful,
right,
I think there's a higher chance of Fox getting the rights back, because you've done 3 movies that have tanked in 10 years.
Yeah.
You know.
What about the X-Men though?
The X-Men's too big of a juggernaut right now, I think.
Because of the situation between them and Marvel, it's forced Fox to be extremely creative.
Right.
To not just like, oh well, we'll borrow this story. They're actively creating.
Like, I think that if First Class wasn't as successful as it was,
right,
I think that they'd have the rights to X-Men.
I so hate First Class with a passion. I hated that movie.
Really?
Oh God, it lost me in the first few minutes.
Because I liked it, but
shame on you, sir.
But going back to all right,
shame.
All right, whatever.
No. Tell me what you liked about it. I got to know this.
I haven't seen it for a while, but I think McAvoy and Fassbender
they were fantastic. They absolutely were.
Magneto.
I will totally give you
the relationship between those two was fantastic.
Yeah,
those characters.
Their dynamics were great. Same thing with Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone.
Yeah, like the whole like Xavier Mystique like
weird brother
love
thing.
Yeah. Brother sister thing is a little weird.
You're my
like
sister.
I wish that my only problem with it is that I wish it didn't try to fit the X-Men movie continuity, and they just would have just started it clean and gone, this is the First Class. Maybe not take place in the 60s,
right,
because that makes Xavier and Magneto old as crap now. Maybe like the 80s.
Right. I can see that.
You know?
I mean, but they didn't even fit it into the movie continuity.
They had
that was
to do
part
the
of the
next
problem.
movie.
Right, like, can we fix this?
Fix it all.
No, the part that lost me is at the very beginning. Like, literally the first few minutes in, where everybody looks at me crazy when I say this, but when Sebastian Shaw kills Lyncher's mom, and he does nothing to him. Like, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he's all pissed off, and he's crushing soldiers' helmets. Okay, I get it that he can't control his powers to go after him, but go hit the guy. That dude just shot your mom. Like, why? Like, and you want us to believe that for the rest of the movie, his intention is to get revenge, but you didn't even punch that man. You didn't kick him. You didn't pick up a chair and throw it at him. You did nothing. You just looked at him and cried. That lost me.
Diaper rash.
Absolutely lost me.
You didn't forget about diaper rash.
Like,
because I think if First Class wasn't as successful, because you're coming off Wolverine, which is...
That movie never came out.
Oh God,
the movie never came out.
Like,
I refuse to give it credence.
If I was a Deadpool fan, I would burn every DVD.
I do hope that they address that in the Deadpool movie. Please.
And then Last Stand, which is just so bad.
Yeah. Thank God for Days of Future Past.
Like once I heard like, oh, Dark Phoenix is going to be a side story in that movie. Oh, that movie's going to be bad. Like
all the way wrong.
Like Dark Phoenix is a movie unto herself.
Two of them. That was a two-parter. That could have been the first one to ever do it. But
like, the only good thing about that movie is I kind of enjoyed Fraser Crane as Beast.
Yeah, he was fun. He was definitely fun. I'm glad he didn't have super speed, unlike in First Class.
Yeah, I don't call him by his real name. He's Fraser Crane.
He's Fraser Crane. Fraser Crane. Denny Crane.
Salads and
Call it again.
Is that it?
I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. I think we've talked enough. So we're gonna call this meeting adjourned. I'm Victor Dandridge. I'm Ryan with a fake toenail I found on the floor. Ew. It's probably real. Not fake. That's got chew marks.
A lead press on.
I'm Tim. Oh God.
And I'm Shelby.
Shelby shaking.
Shaking. Throw away that book too.
That's so nasty.
Like, burn it.
So nasty.
Kill it with fire.
It's so nasty.
All right.